upload this later to the YouTube, but find something to write on and write with. All right, we are going to be adding and subtracting fractions. Now, you learned how to add and subtract fractions back, I think, in 4th grade. But what makes this 7th grade math is you're going to be adding and subtracting positive and negative fractions. So we're going to take it up one more step, and not just adding and subtracting fractions, we're going to be dealing with some negatives today. Some negatives. Okay?
So have we moved on from equations?
We have, but it's on your test on Thursday. So for 2 days, we're going to do this, and then Thursday's just on like kind of like a closing out equations. There is a little part of equations that I'm going to do with fractions. I just am not sure if you're going to be able to do that before winter break, or we're going to do that after. We're going to do that after. All right. Can we see my screen? We're good. Adding and subtracting fractions. Yes, my notebook. All right. All right. So in like 4th grade, when you had a recess and you had lunch and it was great, your teacher probably gave you a problem that looked like this. 3/10 plus 4/10.
Are we copying this down?
Everything.
Okay, got it.
There's in my classroom, my real classroom, there's a poster that's right behind me always when I'm teaching, and it says, if I write, you write. It's like the rule number 1 in my classes. If I write, you write. Everything. All right. So back in elementary school, when life was so easy, 3/10 plus 4/10. What did you guys get when you do 3/10?
7/10.
3/10 plus 4/10 is 7/10, right? Your teacher told you don't add the denominators, just add the numerators, right? Life was so easy. Life was so easy. Okay. Then your teacher might have given you harder ones, maybe in 5th grade, when it was 1/5 plus, let's say, 2/3. And why was this harder? Well, this was harder because your denominators were not the same, right?
You have to find the common denominator.
You have to find the least common denominator. So the way you do that is you take, now some of you know it like that. You look at 5 and 3 and you know it, which is good. Keep it to yourself. Some of you know it by heart. You're really good at your multiples. Others are like, I don't know what they have in common, 3 and 5, nothing, 1. So what you do is you start multiplying by 5 by 5. So 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 5 is 25, right? You do it for like the first 5. And then you go to 3. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. And you're like, oh my gosh, what's the smallest number that they have in common? 15. Good. That is what we call our least common denominator. What do they have in common? 15. That becomes your new denominator. That becomes your new denominator. That's why it's called common denominator. We have to have it in common.
Isn't it called LCM, like least common multiple?
Least common multiple. Yes. You're finding the least common multiple for it to be your denominator. True. True. All right. Now, this is where kids kind of mess up. Now, focus. Okay, ask yourself, 5 times what is 15? What magical number do I multiply to 5 to get to 15? 3. So, We took 5 if we multiply it by 3. But guess what kids forget to do?
For multiple the numerator from 3. Like 3 times 1.
Yeah, they forget to multiply the top by the same number. So whatever this number is, you got to do it to the top. What they do, kids will do is they'll just take this 1 and put it over here and then makes Miss O'Malley so mad. So mad. So whatever number you get down here, you got to multiply on the top. So 1 times 3 is 3. Then at the bottom, 3 times what number equals 15?
5.
5.
5 times 2 is 10.
You got to do it to the top. Whatever you do to the bottom, you got to do to the top.
So it's 10 over 15.
Yes. Very good. So this is what you should have been learning in like 5th grade, okay?
You missed a step. You got to add the fractions.
I'm not done yet. I'm not done. This is just showing your work. This right here is what I'm expecting all of you to show me when we start doing the classwork, right? Some of you can do this in your head. So I understand if you do this in your head, I'm okay with that. This part, though, I do need to see from everybody. You want points? This is what I'll be checking, okay? Because Miss Rojas, Miss Celine, and I are going to be checking your answers when we do the slides, right? So this is the part that I'll be checking later on tonight or tomorrow morning. Okay. Then the last part is your answer, right? 13 over 15 because we add 3 and 10. So this is what the adults are going to be checking today in class. This part is what I am going to be checking when you upload your picture. Does that make sense for you guys? So again, I need to see the work. This is the work I'll be checking. All right. So let's do another one that's very similar to what you guys learned maybe in 5th grade. So we have 3/4 minus 1/6. 3/4 minus 1/6. Find our common denominator. Some of you can do this in your head. Fantastic. Others of you, we're going to write it down. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3, 12, 16, 26. 6, 12. Oh, do I have to keep going? No. As soon as you see that they have a number in common, that's the number you're going to use. You can stop right there. If you don't see it, you'll continue. They also have 24 in common. But I'll be honest with you. You want to choose the smallest number. It will help you in the end.
Miss O'Malley could also do 24. It's just that you'd have to reduce the number that you get.
Right. Exactly.
Which is more work.
Exactly what I just said. So, 12 is the best. 12 is your best friend. All right. So then you ask yourself, 4 times what is 12? 3.
4.
3. Then do it to the top. This is the number one mistake kids do. They forget to do it to the top. 3 times 3 is 9. Then to the bottom. 6 times what is 12? 2. 1 times 2?
12.
2. 12. What you guys getting?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I
sorry.
thought you were saying 2 times 12.
Got
2
it.
times
6. All right. Now, this is a subtraction problem. And since this number is bigger than this number, we're okay. We don't have to change it right now. 9 minus 2, 7 over 12. So your answer is 7 over 12. We're okay? This should all be review. I have yet to touch the 7th grade curriculum. This is all 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. You know, maybe 4th grade, maybe 5th and 6th grade. Okay, are we ready for the 7th grade? Ready or not, here it comes. All right. Negative 2/5 plus 1/8. Ooh. What makes the 7th grade? That right little thing right there. Because it's a negative, all of a sudden it's 7th grade. But is the process still the same at the beginning? Yes, 100% still the same thing. You still have to find common denominators. So what's common between 5 and 8? What do they have in common?
40.
40. So 40. If I continue the 5s, I'll hit 40. So 40 is our common denominator. Now, for those of you, if you have your agenda from last year, there's a multiplication chart at the end. You can find these there, and then you just go 5 and 8, and you see what number do they have in common. And it's 40. So use your resources, kids. Use your resources. All right. 5 times what is 40?
8.
8. So,
8 times -2 is -16.
yep. Don't forget to carry that negative. Okay, bring it over. Then 8 times 5 is 40. So I'm going to do the multiply by 5 on top. Don't forget to do that. Oh.
And then 5 times 1 is 5.
All right. Now, be very, 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 very careful with this problem. We have a -16 plus 5. What is negative? Whoa. -16 plus
-11.
5.
Yeah,
Yep.
-11.
Oh, yeah.
-11
Over 40.
over 40. Be careful. If you want to write, that's it.
That's easy.
It is. So again, it's just taking all the stuff you've learned, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, and putting it all together. Like, oh, I learned how to do common denominators back in 6th grade. Cool. I'm going to use that. Oh, I learned how to add negative and positive numbers in 7th grade in September. You can go back to September 16th to be exact. You learned this. All right, moving on to the next problem. Now I'm going to start off by writing the problem horizontal for a reason. I actually don't like writing fractions horizontal, but there's a reason I have to start this one horizontal. Okay, so 7/9 minus a -1/4. We're going to have some problems. We're going to have some huge problems right now. Why do we have some huge problems right now that I'm getting pretty upset about?
It's the second number, not the first number that has a negative on it.
It's a minus.
It's
a subtraction problem.
Oh, it's a subtraction problem, and there's negatives involved, and Miss Emily's just getting angry and messing up her hairdo over here. So this makes Miss Emily sad. So what we have to do is we have to change subtraction to addition. And we have to do the opposite of -1/4. What is the opposite of
1/4?
1/4.
1/4? All is good in the world. Miss Lameli is happy with 7/9 plus 1/4. Yay! Now we can actually start working on the problem.
Miss Amelia,
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
What if the problem is like 7/9 plus -1/4? It would still be the same, right?
Yeah, we don't change those plus signs. If it's an addition sign, you just leave it alone. And then it ends up being something like we did up here. The signs are different. Subtract. You will subtract, but you don't write down a subtraction sign because Miss Lameli hates those. So you don't write those. All right. So now we have our new problem that makes Miss Lameli happy because there's an addition sign. We're good. We're good, kids. Now we got to figure out, what does 9 and 4 have in common?
36.
36. Cool. 36.
And 9 times 4 is 36 times 1 is 9.
Mm-hmm.
And the top one is 9 times 4 is 36, 7 times 4 is 28. Can we convert it to a mixed fraction?
Mixed number?
Yeah, mixed number.
I expect you to. So we're going to add 28 plus 9 gives you 37 over 36. Now, does anybody know what do you call a fraction when the top number is bigger than your bottom number?
A mixed fraction.
Not a
Improper fraction.
improper. So when the numerator is bigger than the denominator, it's called an improper fraction. We have to turn it into what is called a mixed number. A mixed number. A mixed number you get by you dividing. 36 goes into 37 one time. Remainder 1. Now, this is the only time in life that we like remainders when we do mixed numbers. This 1 is your big solid whole number 1. The remainder is your numerator and your denominator stays the same. I mean, you put a lot of effort into finding that denominator, you're going to keep it.
And to check your work, you can do 36 times 1 plus 1. Which
Yep.
is 37 over 36.
And you're good. All right. Are there any questions? All right, kids. So what we're going to do is...
There's one more problem, Miss Elmo.